Good evening, everyone. I am Siren Agachano, a fourth year student. My topic is all about Rizal's scholarship, the propaganda movement, and the suffering of the Filipinos. Rizal's scholarship. Number 1. He earned excellent marks in subjects like philosophy, physics. Number 2. Chemistry and natural history. At this school, he read novels, wrote prize-winning poetry, and even a melodrama, Junto al Pasig, and practiced drawing, painting, and clay modeling, all of which remain lifelong interests for him. Rizal topped all his classmates in all subjects and won 5 medals at the end of the school term during his fourth year in Ateneo. He consistently maintained excellence and graduated with highest honors and with the highest grade in all subjects. Indeed, Rizal was a man of intellect and a seeker of knowledge. Rizal's propaganda movement, reform and national consciousness, movement that arose among young Filipino expatriates in the late 19th century. Although its adherents expressed loyalty to the Spanish colonial government, Spanish authorities harshly repressed the movement and executed its most prominent movement of propaganda. Among their specific goals were representation of the Philippines in the Cortes or Spanish Parliament, secularization of the clergy, legalization of Spanish and Filipino equality, creation of a public school system independent of friars, abolition of the polo, labor services, and bandala for sale of local products to the government, guarantee of basic freedoms of speech and association, and equal opportunity for Filipinos and Spanish to enter government services. Other important propagandists included Graciano Lopez Haena, a noted orator and pamphleteer who had left the islands for Spain in 1880. After the publication of his satirical short novel, Fray Botod, Brother Fatso, an unflattering portrait of a provincial friar, in 1889, he established a biweekly newspaper in Barcelona, La Solidaridad, Solidarity, which became the principal organ of the propaganda movement, having audience both in Spain and in the islands. Its contributors included Rizal, Dr. Ferdinand Blumentritt, an Australian geographer and ethnologist whom Rizal had met in Germany, and Marcelo del Pilar, a reformanded lawyer. Del Pilar was active in the anti-friar movement in the islands until obliged to flee to Spain in 1888, where he became editor of La Solidaridad and assumed leadership of the Filipino community in Spain. Why is propaganda important? The propaganda movement developed with the Filipino students studying in Europe in those days as its core. These students, by pen and tongue, exposed the evils of Spanish administration and demanded freedom and equality for the Filipinos. In these times of crisis, we Filipinos would do well to look back at the code of virtues Rizal abided by to help us put meaning to our own struggles for survival. Rizal embodied and realized the best of what the Filipino can, his triumphs and struggles, even against the certainty of failure, inspired the Katipuneros to launch the revolution despite great odds. and realized Asia's first independent republic. And today, it is Rizal that leads this generation to continue and perchance finish what we began, the formation of nation where every Filipino is truly free. The suffering of Filipinos, destruction of the native cultures, the British, Dutch, and French were more interested with commerce and trade, business, which is why the native cultures of their colonies were better preserved. While Spanish, on the other hand, were more interested in religious conversion and cultural influence, which basically destroyed the already existing cultures. Based on the writings of Jose Rizal, it is the Catholic Church, the friar, who abused the poor Filipinos. Spanish government appoint locals to govern the country. Therefore, it is the Filipino elites that abuse the poor Filipinos. It is the Spanish who abolished slavery, when the Arab slavery is the norm. Compared with the colonialism in the Americas, the Spanish policy makes sure that it didn't happen in the Philippines, such as massacre and torture. It doesn't mean it doesn't happen, but it is an exemption, not the rule. Liberalism only took root in the 19th century. Governor General Basco managed to implement a more humane government but sadly removed when monarchia form of government region in Spain. What happens to the Philippines is about the abuse and injustice of powerful, rich elite people against the uneducated and poor masses. It is about human nature who abuse his fellow human being. Nationality nor race has nothing to do with it. Thank you.